This is a region that has seen decades of poverty and negligence. And people here feel that their needs can hardly be addressed by a prime ministerial visit or building a port.
पोर्ट जब बना तो यहाँ काम भी शुरू हुआ, इक्का दिक्का काम शुरू हो गया था। तो नाम था गवादर के बंदों का कि गवादर के बंदों के काम पे लगाएंगे, मगर गवादर के बंदे अभी बेरोज़गार हैं। मैंने तो पढ़ा नहीं है, मगर यहाँ पढ़े लिखे भी हैं, किसी ने एमए किया है, बीए किए हैं, वो बेचारा बेरोज़गार हैं। यहाँ के जो बंदे सब मचेरे हैं, उन लोगों ने दिन रात मेहनत किया अपने बच्चों के लिए, अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाया है और पढ़ा लिखाया है। किस लिए?
While local residents here are concerned about their basic survival, local politicians are also worried. What's happening in Gwadar cuts to the heart of their political future. They fear the influx of outsiders into the area and the demographic change that will bring about.
You are going to build the mega projects like Gwadar, and you are trying to make a big Karachi again in Balochistan. There is a problem with the Baloch because they have a big land with small population. We have only one guarantee which are asking from this federation, that the demographic change of the Baloch is a major danger for the Baloch people.
And my priority is to first to give employment to the locals, people who belong to this land, who are indigenous to this land. And if we don't find people of special skills, if they're not available here, so it is but national that we can get them from other places. You see, because we have to get the work going. And if in the local population we don't get a person with a particular skill, so I would never allow that work or that project to be stopped over there. No, I would find. But this should be very clear. I've spoken to the Prime Minister, to the high-ups in Islamabad, that people who would come from abroad, come from other places in Pakistan, they may buy property, they may indulge in trade and commerce activities, but we will never allow outsiders to vote here. Is the right to vote? No, not at all. And I'm very clear about that.
It's also very clear that what's happening in Gwadar is bigger than Balochistan and its people. This port has international significance, and what the Baloch people and their politicians have to say about it matters little.
There are two competing concepts. One is the American, who want to block the Chinese and the Russians and the mainland coming to the south, and the other, China, Pakistan, and this landmass of southwest China, West Asia, East Asia. We want the area to be open to all of them. There is conflict, and I'm sure that American, despite all their efforts, they cannot succeed in blocking. They cannot succeed in putting a check on this breakout into the south, to the warm waters of Arabian Sea, because they stand defeated in Afghanistan. And that is the problem at the moment, how they can manage their interests and yet they retreat from Afghanistan. This is the dilemma that they are facing today.
All the oil flow which goes from whether Saudi Arabia, from Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, or from Abu Dhabi, or from Iran and Iraq, this all goes through. This is a sort of a strategic hub, and if you are overlooking the hub and you have control over it, then you can control the economies of the world by regulating the flow of the oil. So this is a great game, you can say.
As Al Jazeera's Ahmed Zaidan makes his way back to the Baloch capital, Quetta, there's an overnight suicide attack targeting Pakistani paramilitaries in the area. More and more, such attacks are becoming a common occurrence, and there is a promise of more bloodshed to come.
How much of our people are being killed? Our killing is terrorism, their killing is target killing by us. Same coin, different meanings. Baloch kills, target killing. Terrible, inhuman, and they kill for the sake of humanity, culture, justice, so on and so forth.
अब मैं से भी नहीं है कि हम कहते हैं कि हम किसी की नस्ल खुशी करना चाहते हैं, नहीं, हम सिर्फ ये कहना चाहते हैं कि बलोच इस वक्त हालत जंग में, बलोच पे हर गुजरने वाले दिन बहुत ज़्यादा जुल्म हो रहा है। यहाँ पे आर्मी, खुफिया एजेंसी हैं, हमारे नौजवानों को अगवा कर रहे हैं, जो 2-2, 3-3 साल से जिनका कोई अता पता नहीं। बलोच हालत जंग में है और बलोच ये चाहता है कि जब तक हम अपने सरजमीन पे बाख्तियार ना हो, हमारे वसाइल, हमारी सरजमीन हमारे इख्तियार में हो, कोई हमसे कोई भी तवक्को न रखे। बलोच का घर जल रहा है और कोई आके बैठ जाए कहे कि जी मैं यहाँ पे अमन की वो गीत सुनूंगा या अमन की जो है किस्से सुनूंगा, ये शायद उसकी बेवकूफ़ी है।
Pakistan's paramilitary forces have been relentless in their crackdown on rebels in this area for years. The Pakistani army has even built new military barracks here from where they launch their operations. But in most cases, the victims of these operations are civilians. As their body count rises, chances of an end to the attacks and counterattacks seem bleak.
एफसी को मैं कहूँ कि वो बलोचों के कातिल हैं तो ये ज़्यादा बेहतर रहेगा। आज जो यहाँ पे जो जुल्म सितम एफसी कर रही है उसकी मिसाल कहीं नहीं मिलेगी आपको। यहाँ तक कि यही एफसी थी जिन्होंने मतलब हमारे जो बिल्कुल गरीब लोग हैं उनको पकड़ के उनके माल मवेशी लूट लिए, उनको जलाया गया, उनको जलते हुए खोलते हुए ड्रमों में, डांबर के ड्रमों में, तारकोल के ड्रमों में उनको डाला गया।
Frontier Corps Balochistan has lost about 160 people in the way of duty. They have lost their life. 2 have embraced shahadat last evening, you must have heard about it. More than 300 have lost their limbs. And still we are there to support our people who are innocent. They are only very limited class of the terrorists, and we will make sure that over our dead bodies we will not let them radiate and spread more terror. Yes, we will have to sacrifice our life. So that is why they find FC to be standing like a tall wall.
But the army's failure to effectively deal with Baloch guerrilla fighters makes Islamabad see a link between the Indian presence in Afghanistan and the disorder in Balochistan.
Certainly, if there is an increase of Indian interference in Afghanistan, it is a matter of concern for Pakistan.
Is there interference of India in Balochistan issues and troubles?
I've already raised up with Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister of India.
After the arrival of America, once again, Indians came riding on their back. So they are taking actually what is called a free ride on the American shoulders, and they came into Afghanistan and they started spreading their tentacle, and they are up to their old games. So behind this entire turmoil that one sees in Balochistan,
well, there was a thinking in the United States that they wanted to separate Balochistan from Pakistan, so that in case Pakistan does not play the game with them, they could make use of the Balochistan territory as a separate independent state. And this was also the purpose of the Indians. So Indians and the Americans, they did collaborate, and all the conspiracy which had been going on from Afghanistan in particular, and from other areas by American agencies, it was with that purpose, that they wanted to create an alternative, an independent Balochistan.
Baloch leaders, though, reject that they have any Indian support. However, they say that if India did want to help, it would be welcomed.
Even a swine wants to help us. India is human, Hindus. What is strange about India for us Baloch, what is not for Punjabis, Americans or English? Is India such a demon? India wants to help us, we deny, because what we are? We are true Muslims, we are true Pakistanis, neither applies. We are Muslims for our own sake, and we are more Baloch than Pakistani.
Back in the capital of Quetta, yet another protest. This time by Baloch women. They've taken to the streets demanding to know the whereabouts of their husbands and sons who have disappeared. Hundreds of young Baloch nationalists and activists have been picked up by Pakistani security over the last decade. Many of them were later found dead, their bodies showing signs of severe torture. For the families of the missing, such street protests have become an everyday activity.
कुछ ऐसे एरियाज़ भी है उनका अप्रोच मीडिया तक नहीं है, उनको मीडिया तक रसीद नहीं है, इस वजह से ये मुश्किलात हो रहे हैं। तो दूसरी जो इस हवाले से जो हम लोगों ने 1100 का फिगर कम्प्लीटली मुकम्मल किया है 3 महीने के अंदर, वो भी हमने अपनी मदद आपके तहत किया है। मुश्किलात भी ज़्यादा है, वसाइल भी हमारे पास, हमारे तंजीम के पास इतने नहीं है। तो इससे मालूम होता है कि इन ऑपरेशन के दौरान हज़ारों लोगों को उठाया गया है बलूचिस्तान से।
Missing people is another controversy. Let me tell you, starting from 12 to 13,000 people 3 to 4 years back, they have come down to only few hundred, let's say a little over 200. Either that demand was wrong or people have come back. If they have come back, has anybody said?
In an area where international, regional, and local interests converge, there is every reason to believe that Pakistan's Baloch rebellion is only heading towards greater confrontation, greater suppression, and a constantly rising death toll. And if there is a ray of hope for the people of this region, it is at best very faint.